Welcome to Self Care You podcast. This is the intersection of self care, advocacy, and compassion for self caregivers. So, welcome. And I'm your host, Sharon, the number one self caregiver in the world. And so, with this episode, what we will talk about is you cannot gain when you protect yourself. Again, this is all about self care, about self awareness. It is about you advocating for yourself, and of course, having compassion as being a self caregiver. And so, in order for you, for all of us, to succeed in life, period, whether it's your business, point of succeeding within yourself. In that, when it comes to self care, it's the four pillars of self care. And as I've told you before, in that self awareness is the biggest one. And so, for any of you who have been, like following me regarding self care for the past couple of years, know that I'm passionate about self care, and especially when it comes to self awareness. And one thing that I have talked about is that there's that part of us that just wants to protect us. It's from the physical dangers of the world, but what is perceived as the emotional discomfort, the emotional challenges. But one thing that I will say is that the more you protect yourself of not having your feelings hurt or hurting someone else's feelings, the more that you avoid any type of discomfort, of disagreement, of self correction, the more you would be left out in the cold, the more you would not expand or really get the things that you want in life, especially if you're talking about entrepreneurship, if you're talking about running a business. And this is for individuals who offer services or sell products. And when I say offer services, because some individuals, some of you, especially like those of you in the wellness world or a healer, let's say in teaching a workshop and offering meditation or yoga, you may not think that you are an entrepreneur, but you are a sole proprietor. You really are. And I want to remind you that one of the things that I've learned by being on this business path, I call it the entrepreneurship streets, is like, oh my, I've heard people say it's becoming of yourself. It's a spiritual journey. And it really is, because it touches every aspect of yourself, and anything that you need to work on, anything you need, whatever words you want to use, you need to become stronger at, anything that you need to do in the thing is that you is going to show up so that you can get better. That's what it's all for. But one thing that I noticed, and I've noticed this within myself, because I have been a protective, again, it's so automatic that I don't even know. And we come to this thing of like, want to be happy, of not feeling any type of discomfort. Again, it's kind of like that thing that's inside of us, it does it automatically. It's there to protect you. But then what protects you does not allow you to grow. You will not be able to expand. You will continue to be in your comfort zone. And as soon as you step out, it's like, oh, it's thunder and lightning out here. And so you are not able to gain when you're constantly protecting yourself, or even if you're perceiving that something is a danger. Oh, I don't like that person. I don't trust this person. Or I didn't do this because this doesn't feel good. But did you really think about that business transaction or that interaction? Was it logical? Does it make sense? Are you able to point things out that can benefit yourself and benefit the company? Because sometimes you can be in your feelings. Being in your feelings isn't always an indication that something is wrong. Now, don't get me wrong, when it comes to our guts, even though we may use the word feeling, but it's not the same. I'm telling you that if someone says that it is not, I have to hear the debate on that one. I would not say that they are the same because part of that is using your intuition and your gut, in which I believe that those things are different too. And they can be there to protect them, but only if you're on a path where you are able to strengthen these things. And so, again, when it comes to self care, it is about you becoming more of you, your authentic self. So that means in being honest and telling the truth. Now, what's the discomfort in that? Now, some people are cool with it, but the majority of people, including me, am not. And one thing that I have learned, there are sensations that go through your body that's like, oh, danger, danger, this is not right. But no, you breathe through that, you embrace it because you are not gaining. And so when it comes to your business, if you feel or think that you're not expanding, sit back and say, where am I trying to protect myself? Why don't I, have clients? What are you doing? Oh, I don't like to be the center of attention. I used to be that way too. But I'm like, wait a minute. How are people going to know who I am? How are people going to know who you are if you are protecting yourself? People need to know that you exist. When it comes to personal relationships, how are people going to know? What are you thinking? What are you feeling if you are protecting yourself? So you're not able to gain because you may be able to gain an insight about something that you either had an awareness of or didn't have an awareness of. So you are not gaining in life because you are protecting yourself. So how long are you going to protect yourself? This is what this self-care podcast is all about. It's about you opening your mind, opening your heart, opening your soul. Yeah, you protect yourself, but what are you protecting yourself? Because a feeling pretty much goes through its motions and it dissipates and it's gone. And then what? Because you're still holding on to a feeling that not intentionally, I always like to say that, not intentionally, but was created. And you're like, oh, Sharon, how am I going to know what the truth is? You will know because you will continue to open up yourself. But the more that we close ourselves, thinking that we're protecting ourselves, then that is not beneficial. So make sure that you are doing the things that you need to do so you can gain insight, so you can gain, it can be a develop a characteristic of yourself. Let's say when it comes to speaking your truth, when it comes to know, when it comes to setting boundaries, again, what are you gaining? Because if you're protecting yourself so much that you're not able to gain out of it, then it is not protecting, because you can be protecting and there can be a rainbow out there waiting for you to experience, but because you are protecting, I mean, you can be thinking you're protecting your name, and come to find out there's nothing to protect. And so open your mind, open your heart, open your soul so you can hear, so you can see what are you gaining. That's the main thing, because one thing that I've learned, one thing that I have seen is the fact that when you open the door of gaining something instead, because really when you're thinking that you're protecting, you're really closing the door. So when you're closing the door, you can be closing the door to your blessing, but then you're saying you're giving of the world. So how can you be giving of the world when part of you is hidden behind a door that you are protecting? So are you protecting to allow an openness, or are you protecting to close something off? So anything that is closed off, I mean, nothing can get in. And so when it comes to you gaining, any business, and I like to say personal business or business, especially for those of you who are entrepreneurs and business owners, you know some of this, but sometimes you don't, because even you can get into your feelings about things. So open the door of being open so you can gain. Again, what are you gaining? A new perspective. So you can gain something that you can do different. So you can gain knowledge. So you can gain experience, because this is how you grow. You cannot gain, you cannot grow when you are protecting yourself. Because what I've learned is protecting yourself over feelings doesn't get you nowhere, because feelings are fluid. One way I may feel this way, one way you may feel that way. And it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And so, in order to gain more insight, definitely make sure that you join the new Facebook group Self Care Preneurs, which is self care entrepreneurs, because you're making self care number one. This Facebook group allow you to have support, allow you to connect with diverse, like-minded individuals like yourself who put self-care definitely on a pedestal, and ensuring that you're going to be healthy in your mind and your body and your spirit, so that you can have a ultimate business, an ultimate service, an ultimate product, and to be able to enjoy it throughout life. And so make sure that you join the Facebook group Self Care Partners, and also you will be invited to upcoming workshops, upcoming conferences, and getting some tips so that you can gain more things while you're not trying to protect yourself to avoid something. That's the key. So definitely join the Facebook group. And so, again, as you are gaining things in life, if anything that you are protecting, make sure that you're protecting yourself in a way where you are gaining. Because if you're not gaining, you're not growing. And it really defeats the purpose when it comes to everything. And so, continue to listen to this podcast, and follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram and on YouTube, so that you can stay connected of all of the things that we have to offer. And so again, thank you for joining me for this episode of Self Care You Podcast.